Hello? Oh. Hi, wrestling fans. I thought it was the phone. Thanks for clicking on the Dreaded D. Rose report. Uh, Might as well get stuff from the horse's mouth. How about the Wrestling Observer newsletter says Hulk Hogan claimed on Bubba the Love Sponge show this week that he was going to be turning heel soon. And he always did with that dark beard, I thought. Hogan said that he didn't want his daughter Brooke to become a character in wrestling. Eric Bischoff has came up with an idea of doing a ratings for top TNA contenders to justify them getting the world title shots. The Against All Odds Countdown show last week saw the debut of the ratings system. I haven't seen that. I must have missed that. Kurt Angle, he's been wanting a reduction in his TNA work schedule. Bret Hart spoke to Alex Marvez of ScriptNews.com this week at lengthy interview discussing his return to World Wrestling Entertainment. He says his parents and Owen Hart would say hell has frozen over if they were still around to see him, return after a 14-year absence. Hart teased that his storyline with Vince would accumulate, or culminate, whatever you want to call it, end at a match at WrestleMania. Despite the stroke he suffered back in 2002 and the fact Vince McMahon is 64 years old, he can still move around well enough to put on a good match. That kind of evens out the score, don't it? He said, I'll never be able to put on a performance I want to have, but I'll be able to do it good enough to entertain and give a good show. And he said, I'm very careful about what I do and allow myself, to do only certain things, and that what can be done to me. WWE has gone through great efforts to ensure all that and make sure that I'm comfortable with everything that I'm doing, which I think is great. And I'm kind of upset about the storyline, the way it's going, but and seeing Bret, get beat up all the time and stuff. But one good thing is Bret hadn't gave up, and I know that's got to make him feel great to finally be back in the ring again and doing some beating on people and doing some maybe some wrestling holds and stuff. Because after a stroke, man, you get that feeling of, man, I'm done. I can't do anything. But he's come back a long ways, and plus he's making some money. And I think it's great of WWE and Vince to, have him back and let him do that. One thing he says was unsure of when considering his return to WWE, how his past issues with Shawn Michaels would come into play. Said, when I came back, I didn't know if the whole thing with Shawn would erupt again. He said, the truth is, Shawn has been real good with the whole thing. He says, you can tell that weight's been shifted off of his back, my back, and I think even Vince to a certain degree. It feels like a new start. The Montreal screw job was a long time ago, but the situation set off such shockwaves through the industry that even today, many of my fans can't tell, what aspects of his current WWE run are part of the storyline and which is real. He says, I'm trying to turn a negative into a positive. Hart said, I think that it's good for wrestling fans, and I know a lot of people, about the whole thing. It seems, quite real to them. If I can deliver realism today in wrestling, he says, I think I've done a good job. Right now, Shawn Michaels is planning to take some time off from April through August of this year, returning in time for SummerSlam, another big payday. There's a lot of talk in WWE going around about the draft after WrestleMania this year. Plans right now see Big Show and Swagger being sent to SmackDown. Not sure why on that. The final episode of ECW next week will see Christian defend his title against Ezekiel Jackson in an Extreme Rules match, and Goldust and Yossi Tatsu facing the Big Show and The Miz for the WWE Unified Tag Team titles. Are they going to give that title to the tag titles to? More titles to Big Show and Miz? Mike. Next week's Raw, going to be hosted by old Jerry Springer. Says Springer says, was I drinking when I agreed to host the show? Said during a media conference called to promote his appearance, Springer says that he used to be a wrestling fan when he was a kid, but hasn't kept up with the product much lately. Says, I'm looking forward to doing it all together, but he says, I'm a fight fan, for television. You would think, anyway, with the way his shows are. These are all professionally trained people here, and you have, on the other hand, entertainers as entertainers, whether you're legitimate or a singer. Says you have your moment when you're on stage or in the ring or in a ball field. He said it's that moment where you have to be really, really focused, and you gotta have to perform. Anyway, he's rambled on just like I did. TMZ cameras caught up with The Rock this week and asked the former WWE star who owns his signature catchphrases, do you smell what The Rock is cooking, and things like that. And I guess he owns, WWE co-owns a lot of the phrases too, including The Rock name. Alright, although TNAWrestling.com has removed, TNA Wrestling has removed Bobby Lashley's wrestling profile, you might as well serve as a clear sign the wrestler prioritized his mixed martial arts against wrestling, so I guess mixed martial arts takes over. But Lashley is not officially parted ways with the company. PWI Insider cites sources confirming that Lashley's relationship with TNA remains in place. He has no short-term plans to continue actively performing in TNA, though. So he's thus written out as a regular character, and when you get written out as a regular character, I think you're done. But anyway, it says their doors nonetheless remain open for a full-time Lashley down the road on his return if he wants to. F4W Online says Edge will return to the ring next week, Friday Night SmackDown, the match against Batista. WWE officials are high on Vance Archer. I'm glad they are, as he has received a big push in developmental as well as in ECW. John Morrison, by the way, apparently sprained his ankle at last night's SmackDown taping in a match with R-Truth. The match was cut short after Morrison went down after leaping over Truth. Morrison was helped to the back by Truth, a WrestleMania trainer and referee. No word whether the injury is legit or just part of the angle, but F4W, give me an update. Word coming out of WWE, Morrison was legitimately injured at last night's SmackDown, suffered a badly sprained ankle. With the match with R-Truth, Morrison posted a message on his Twitter this morning saying that he was headed to the airport, but his ankle still hurts. Mine still hurts too, but it's probably arthritis. No word yet on how long he's going to be out of action if he misses anything, or whether he's going to miss the Elimination Chamber, which he's booked in the SmackDown main event. Anyway, next week's Raw will be hosted, like I say, by Jerry Springer. Alright, here's the TMZ cameras was caught up. Well, that's the same thing I just read. Okay, the Country Weekly magazine noted that WWE Women's Champion Mickie James will indeed defend her will be defending her title at WrestleMania this year. WWE shop site currently has new Bret Hart work shirts, hoodies, as well as t-shirts for The Miz, MVP, Big Show, Santana Marella, and Crying Time. Cavill, which is formerly Low-Key, is the new #1 contender for the FCW heavyweight title in WWE developmental after winning a 4-way at recent TV tapings. And by the way, remember Ashley Massaro? She's still telling friends she's heading to TNA. She hadn't told TNA, I guess. Ric Flair told the Virginia Pilot, which I guess is a magazine or a newspaper, in a new interview that he's going to be wrestling in TNA sooner than later. Flair said he would most likely be involved in a storyline with Hulk Hogan. Flair notes that TNA is making changes for the better, and things at the company are happening quickly. Just like my 9 or 10 minutes. Thanks for clicking. I'll be back tomorrow, I hope. I gotta go.